Good afternoon and welcome. Glad you could join us today. So let's get started talking about hubs and docks. On Go for Lunch for September 23rd, 2025, brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm Roger Harmon, your host, and we're here to make your technology work for you. Well, yesterday was the autumnal equinox, so the day where the days and the nights are the same approximate length. Also, the beginning of fall, the beginning of harvest. So lots of things going on with the autumn. So welcome to autumn, and hopefully the temperatures will reflect that shortly. Well, hubs and docks. Well, what's the problem here? So Macs don't have enough ports. That's the problem, especially MacBooks. So you have to add a hub or a dock to plug in everything that you need. So what peripherals might you want to connect? Well, there'd be your printer, your time machine drive, your keyboard, your mouse. Also, you might want to connect a monitor, an SD card reader, a flash drive, and Ethernet to make your internet fast as possible. Hello, Gretchen. So what's the difference between a hub and a dock? Well, hubs usually have fewer ports, and they can be powered or not. We recommend that you have them powered, and we'll talk about that in a minute. They are usually less expensive, and they are portable. So if you're connecting it to a MacBook, it can easily go where you go. So docks have more ports. They have AC power, and they are more expensive, and of course they're not as easily portable. So here's an example of a hub. So you see, starting here from the top left, we have the power direct input, so that would be your power supply for your MacBook I should say, and it would plug in here, so that would give the dock and all the things connected to it power. Then you have a USB-C port here, an HDMI port, so if you want to connect it to an external monitor, that's the way you do that. So you have just one connection to your Mac that would connect all these different things. Down here we have two USB-A ports. Then we have an SD and micro SD card input. And on the end, we have an Ethernet port, so you can get that fast internet speed. So the reason you want to have a powered hub is because otherwise the power must come from the Mac. And the Mac just has so much power to give, and you can extend over what it has to give by connecting things like hard drives to the hub. So you want to make sure that your hub uses power. So you can either have the power direct, or use your existing power adapter to give it power, or some hubs have a separate AC adapter that powers the hub. So you definitely want a powered hub. Now, docks do have AC adapters. They can also recharge your MacBook, and they have plenty of power for hard drives and anything else that you might connect. So here's an example of a dock from Other World Computing. You can see here we have a micro SD and an SD card slot, an audio port for both input and output, one USB-A and four USB-As down here, and then we have a USB-C right here. This is where the power connects. This is where you connect a monitor. This is where you connect to the Mac, another USB-C port, an Ethernet port, and this one has a digital audio output, so you could connect it to your home stereo system. You can even have a hub for your iPad. So here we have a nice iPad stand that has a adjustable elevation, so you can make it more ergonomic. Starting down here from the right, we have a 3.5 audio jack, 2 USB-A ports. This would be where you connect your power from your power supply for your iPad. Then here is an HDMI port where you could connect your external monitor. This is what you connect to the host. And then you have a micro SD and an SD card slots. So you can use your iPad as your main computer by using a hub like this. You can even get a little hub for your iPhone. So what this one does is it connects an SD card for storage for photos and videos. It connects to the iPhone with the USB-C connector here, and then it magnetically attaches to the MagSafe connector on the back of your iPhone. And then you can also power it at the same time with a USB-C power connector. So even your iPhone can have a hub. So that brings us to questions. If you have any questions or comments, please type those in to the comments on your YouTube screen. Do me a big favor and please forward the GoFor Gazette to anybody you know that has Apple devices. Of course, the GoFor Gazette comes to you every Monday morning at 7 o'clock. And if you are not getting that, please let me know and I'll add you to the list. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that little bell so you'll know when we're live. Also, I put links to the products that we discussed down below in the comments. So you can check right there and see what those are. So, let's see what we got here. So, let's see. Bob says, are there any hubs for charging my watch? Well, there are charging stations for your watch, but not any hubs, since your watch can't really be attached to any peripheral. So there are things like that. And Leslie Ann says, I'm lost. Do you know what I have with my Mac Mini? Yes, you have a powered hub. So you're all set. You're ready to go. You're getting enough power for your 2 external drives. So that works out just fine. So hopefully this has helped you understand, first of all, the purpose of a hub versus a dock, and the reason you want a powered hub to make sure that you have enough power for that Time Machine drive and any other drives that you might attach to your Mac. So if you have any other questions or comments, you can contact me later on, and that information is coming to you right now. So have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday at high noon for another Go for Lunch.